Okay, so there's an Ellen Hanna who passed away, 86 years old, from Fort Lauderdale. A full obituary will be coming later, probably tomorrow or later in the week. It's just a short mention that she had passed away. I'm asking the question, would that possibly be the wife of former Mayor Ed Hanna? Because I recall her name was Ellen. Going back to the New York Times story, when the New York Times did a big piece on Mayor Hanna, where he said, this is such a terrible city. Remember the whole, he'd come back as mayor at that time. Reading a piece from there, Hanna Park, built during the first Hanna administration from 1974 to 77, named for him later, is near Hanna Park Drive, also named for him, and not far from Ellen Hanna Mini Park. The mayor built the mini park with his own money in honor of his wife of 49 years. So it might be possible that the former mayor's wife has passed away. Tony Picente is the county executive. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
Do you have any knowledge of that? I believe her name was Helen. Or Ellen.
Ellen, yeah, it was. I don't know. And it sounds about the age that she...
Yeah, and it makes sense. Fort Lauderdale obituary in our newspapers, so it kind of makes sense.
Still lived here for a while, so I don't know if she moved, but could be.
All right, so how much at risk are we right now of losing the whole deal?
Very much much so. This is getting delayed, or at least put aside day by day with some decisions that have to be made. The plan has to be submitted complete with all financing and every piece in place, and it's everybody has said we can't repeat it enough. The clock is ticking, but I think right now we're at 0 hour. We're really getting down to crunch time, and unless we can resolve, which we need to, this garage issue, and I believe we will, but it does have to be put in place, and things have to move.
Okay, so I want to throw out some questions. Of course, the No Hospital Downtown people are going to have a press conference today. Did you know they've launched their own political party?
Yeah, I heard about that yesterday. I mean, I just the whole No Downtown Hospital thing, for anybody to create one line about one issue. I mean, I think any elected official or any candidate who takes that line is really stating that no progress. Really, it's more than that. I think this whole No Downtown Hospital piece is also dangerous to this situation, and it's causing even more fence sitting by some officials.
I spoke with the people from No Hospital Downtown yesterday, and Jim Zecca is reiterating it here this morning in several emails that he sent us. And that is that the meeting, and you've been in government for a long time, the meeting that was held between DeMayo and others was an illegal meeting.
No, it was not. It was, and I forgot what a government scholar Jim is sometimes. The meeting was not illegal. The meeting was asked and called by the hospital for the purpose of information to the council body. It wasn't a council meeting. It wasn't called by the council, and whether they're all there and whether they're anywhere else. And some legislators, it wasn't a full board. No decisions were made. No votes were taken. No roll call was taken. So that's just, that's not. It was not an illegal meeting. It was an information meeting, and I've had numerous information meetings with the hospital, as has the mayor and as has. I guess the other officials.
When I heard this yesterday, it does make me wonder: is it possible that we have passed certain laws and rules and regulations that would prevent the legislature from sitting down on an educational, with an intent of learning something about a topic?
Right.
Are we to that point that we prevented our legislators from doing that without having it as a public meeting, and that didn't seem to make sense?
Well, I think we get into that often about whether this is a public meeting and what's negotiation and what's the whole government transparency thing, which sometimes I believe in it, I agree with it, but there are meetings and there are discussions that need to take place, and they're not public discussions. If you want to be a part of that discussion, run for office and be successful, and then everything comes out at that point. So whatever has to be done gets done in the in the meetings that take place on the votes. So
Yeah.
the discussions ahead of time are no different than any other business would have. I mean, does everybody else want to open up their boardroom for discussion on topics of importance? And you're not going to accomplish anything with public in the room, whether they're yelling or screaming or just inputting or whatever happens. It's one of those areas that clouds the decision making, and it shouldn't.
Manaski.
I just want to just be clear on something. When you say that this new hospital downtown is in jeopardy, it's in jeopardy because of funding for the parking garage or because of the opposition to placing it downtown?
Well, I think the opposition to placing it downtown is what tends to hold up some of these things. Now, the parking garage is the last piece of financing that needs to get in place, and we've been on this path for a long time, and we now are, and I say as government, on the county and city end, the ball is in our court, and it comes down to, do we want, first of all, and I've been saying this all along, do we want a new hospital? That's what the discussion should be, and I do, and I believe it's important for this community. And the fact that it's in downtown Utica, I've supported that. I know these other people don't. My question to them is, where's your $600 million for downtown? Because right now, there's $300 million from the state. The hospital is pledging, their money and their financing and their capital for that. Where's yours, and what are you going to do for downtown Utica?
Well, that brings us.
Secondly, yes, there is a government piece to it, and I think that's important because we have a role in this. And I've said this from the beginning. I'm the one who started the garage discussion, in the first place, that we should be a part of this because it's important to the government of this community. It's important to all governments about having improved health care. I know how many people go out of the area. I want them to stay here. I want our people to be taken care of and not have to worry about traveling to get that health care. And with 3 separate hospitals, it's a problem. I think downtown is a good location. What is happening else? What is happening down there? Please tell me, because I'm down there every day. And at the end of the day, I look out my window at 4, and not a lot in 4:30 because that's and that place is not moving. With the exception of the businesses that have been established recently, places like Ocean Blue, Ancora, Swifties, Taylor and Cook. There's not a lot of activity. I want people down there.
I will say, though, that we had the people from Wilcor in yesterday. Their complaint is, we don't know what's happening. If this is going downtown, no one is sharing this with us. We don't know. Should we continue to proceed with our business, which we have to do? How do we pay to have the business moved? If they just buy the building, I think they're in a confused state. So is there a lack of communication? And shouldn't these business owners be privy to more information at this point?
Well, I think we can always look around at different levels of communication in terms of what has to be done here. And clearly, but we've been talking about this for 2 years, and we've been fighting amongst ourselves as well. And that means, that goes for everybody. And I said this 2 years ago when we lost the money there in the first place. So the hospital, I think, I don't know what else has to be clearer, that the intent is for the hospital to go downtown. Now, I know other businesses that I've talked to that are making those plans to move out of there and to look at their future and where they're going to be. So, and I can't speak, and I'm not. That's no disrespect to the Wilcors or anyone else of the downtown, but it has been pretty clear that this hospital has the intent to go downtown. And all the pieces are in place with the exception of one. So
you're saying that Wilcor should be planning on a strategy.
Well, I think everybody. I think anybody who's been in that downtown area over the last, we've been talking again 2 years. There's not another location right now, despite the efforts or the discussion about moving or going to look at St. Luke's. That's not on the table right now. There's one location on the table.
Will there be any assistance for business owners such as Wilcor to move there? They're saying we've been there for years. It's going to be difficult for us to make this move financially. Will there be assistance for those people?
Well, that we haven't gotten to all of those pieces yet. But the first part is, full market value will be given for those properties, as per the agreement and the appraisals that have been done. And then at that point, it can become either a negotiation piece for something else. I think we'll do everything in our power to help But to relocate, all of those businesses, what does that mean? Does that mean building them new ones?
Yeah.
Government can't do that, and has never done that. In the instance of where buildings, are taken for, or purchased for a project, it usually stops there. But then the assistance is in helping find those locations, and I think everybody's willing to do that, and we have been, and we've been working with a couple of companies already.
I want to ask you. Right now, it seems that there is from what we received, the information we received, Steve DeMayo of the hospital, they sat down and basically said to the Common Council, you got to put something together in 2 weeks on this parking garage, or this thing's going to fall to pieces and there will be no hospital. A couple of questions. Where's the mayor on this? Is there anyone in the city that's serving as a leader out there in front of this to get this thing done? And part two of that question is, why should the city of Utica be responsible for paying for the parking garage? I understand that it's a combination between the county and the city, but what some city members are saying is this is a county project that should be all paid for by the county. Can you answer, starting with the mayor portion of that question?
The mayor portion, well, the mayor's been involved in all of the discussions, and clearly has been involved in the garage discussion solely with myself and with the hospital. Administration and Steve and the team the hospital has put together to manage this. He is stuck on a limited amount of money to put towards the hospital, which I know that as the county looks at these things, is not the county and some legislators want to do 50-50, some want to go above that. The mayor right now is really around 20 or 30% of that, and that's going to be a hard sell. Now, so that's but why should the city do this? I'll tell you why the city and the county should. And I agree, and I'm of a different opinion. I do agree the county should do more. I don't know what that number is yet. I hope to get to that today with the board because I'm going to be talking to them. But here's the thing: why does the city have the burden? Absolutely, they have a burden. But the city has a benefit. The city has a benefit of great infrastructure repairs, things that have to get done in the city. The city has the benefit of the tax relief that will come their way in terms of sales tax for the construction of a $500 million building, as well as new downtown office buildings for the hospital, medical office buildings, which will pay taxes. Unlike the other entities. So there is a great burden. They get the economic impact. They get the fact that more people are downtown. They get the fact that more businesses will be established as a result of something like this. So there is a benefit to the city. Should they pay? But 50-50 is not. The county's been paying for a great deal right now. Everything at the auditorium has been done by us. Everything that we've proposed for downtown the new district is proposed by us. So the county has been at the forefront of the city as well as the entire county. And look, I'm getting hit from different angles about what are we doing for Rome, what are we doing for New Hartford, what are we doing for other parts of the community. This is a regional facility. This doesn't serve just the people of Utica, so I agree with that. That's why I believe the county has a greater role here. But the point is why we're fighting over a parking garage, which is crazy.
I will tell you,
it really is.
City of Rome would like the hospital, by the way, and they'd also like a Stewart's. Just for the record.
Sure. And they have a hospital. Look, I live a block away from the hospital in Rome.
Right.
I do think that there is common ground here, and I do think that this is important for all of us, and to argue and that's why I'm not about to argue. I'm going to stake out our claim in the next, and hopefully by the end of the day, say what we're willing to do, and then the city's going to have to
make a decision. Okay. Also, I'm told that there is someone in the comptroller's office that did put together a spreadsheet and is claiming that the city, if the hospital goes downtown, I just want you to comment on this. If the hospital goes downtown and has to pay for a portion of the garage, the city will go bankrupt. Saying that the loss of school tax, sales tax, property tax, the city of Utica will go bankrupt. And I believe that spreadsheet's going to come out today. That, I would assume, does not account for any of the benefits that you just talked about. But can you comment on that? And do you have any knowledge of the spreadsheet?
No, I don't have any knowledge on that. Actually, I know just the opposite. I thought that I know that the controller's office had put together documents that said they could pay more than the mayor had put on the table in the first place.
Okay.
So, I mean, and I find it hard to believe that, again, this is how you pay for things, though, Bill. Investment is what gets you the return.
Yep.
And the city of Utica, has gone through these things for years, but now, so where's the investment? Every time I turn around, the mayor's talking about another surplus. We're out of the hole. We're doing this. We're doing great. Well, now it's time to reinvest that money and start building this city and building this community. That's what we've done at the county. We were, I took over and we were in terrible financial straits. And since then, we've reinvested and rebuilt. And they need to do that. And they need to look at this opportunity. But the whole region needs to look at this opportunity. $600 million. Show me what else we have here. We just lost, we lost AMS months ago. I'm not about to lose this project, and because we still got to finish that one. And I'm not about to lose this project for the stubbornness of who should pay for what.
Yeah.
This is about health care, and we're talking about parking spaces.
How close are we? Give me a timeline to losing
I think
it.
that we've got to really, nail this down within the next 2 weeks, because the hospital has to get approval from the state on a certificate of need, which is essential, and that only comes when all the pieces of the hospital financing is in place. And
right.
And if the people of the new hospital think that that's a bluff or whatever, or they're sadly mistaken. And it's not going to be that it's not going to go downtown. It's probably not going to go anywhere, because there's no plans to put it anywhere else, and that would take a whole nother. Then look, we'd have to go through a whole nother year of design and planning, which the other site doesn't work, despite what all the engineers in that group say. We're going to lose money, and then what's going to happen? Another community is going to get that $300 million bill, and they're going to build a hospital in about 20 minutes, and everybody from here is going to look at it and say, "Well, what happened to us?"
Took us 2 years to build a Stewart's. That's all I can tell you.
There you go.
Okay.
That's
all I can say.
It really is. I got to tell you, for being here and trying to do what we've been doing and making the progress we've had, to really stall over this is ridiculous. It really is.
Manaski has a final question.
Just two things quickly. Cost of the garage. The garage would be.
The garage actual cost would be about $40 million, but we wouldn't be paying that much because there's tax credits that are granted. So the actual bonding of the garage would be somewhere around $27 million.
Okay, so $40
million.
million.
When you factor it out, when you do the math on it, and I know you get into the bonding cost, it comes out to about $1.6 million a year in debt service.
For how long?
For 30 years.
For 30 years.
Now the county would do the bonding. That's how, and that's the other thing. That's how it would work. The county would do the bonding because we have a better credit rating, so we get a better rate. Just like that. And then, so now that 1.6 has to be paid, and it fluctuates over the years like any other loans. It'll go down, after so many. It'll go not a lot, but it'll decrease as you pay off principal. And so you're at 1.6, and so now that becomes okay. So 50-50 is not hard to figure out.
It's $800,000, yeah.
So now we've got as the starting point, we go from there.
So, and you said,
and what happens is we pay, we bond, we pay. The city then would pay us, an annual, and through an intermunicipal agreement, on a yearly basis towards the.
Sure. Yeah, I understand.
Towards the bonding of that.
So
the payments.
You said county legislators seem to want to go 50-50. The mayor wants to do 70-30 or 80-20, and you're more in the 60-40 range.
No, I haven't picked the 60-40 range, but I believe we should go above 50.
Okay.
All right. We appreciate the time, Tony, and it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in the next few days, in the next few weeks.
Okay.
Thanks so much. County Executive Tony Picente.